fam, I'm back with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about toxic traits and toxic people. So oftentimes we as individuals align ourselves with toxic people, and we try to justify their behavior, why we still stay in relationship with them, and why we still involve ourselves with them. Now, over the years, I have had toxic relationships, whether it was friends, whether it was family, whether it was coworkers, etc. And when we are in toxic relationships with people, it's never beneficial for us. It's nothing adding to our lives. So we have to ask ourselves this question: why do we, stay in relationships with people that don't mean us good and that don't mean us well? So, today is Motivational Friday, and I'm speaking on this topic because of this topic is constantly rising up every single day in our lives. We see it on TV, we see it on social media, what toxic looks like. It could be an environment, it could be a people, it could be a thing. And I want to encourage anybody out there on today that's going through the same situation that maybe I have been through, to when to let go. It is okay to let go of toxic people. It is okay to let them go. Not to say that you don't love them, not to say that you don't care about them, but for your sanity and for your peace, you should let it go. Point number 2. If a toxic individual is in your life and they're negative, they're combative, they have a victim mentality, is always woe is me, never taking accountability for their actions, you would have to and should reevaluate that friendship or that kinship or that coworkership, because we want to be able to stand in accountability as we get older. We want to be able to have healthy relationships and have healthy relationships. Like I said, we don't want to be in the same boat when we was in our teens and our 20s. We are getting older, so there should be a change. Number 3, I have viewed a toxic relationship as this: it's like a hoarder. It's like we are hoarding things in our lives, right? And we can hoard friends, we can hoard families, we can hoard something until it just explodes. And one thing about toxic relationships or toxic things is that we never know at what given point where things are going to explode with that person. And even I, my own experience, like I said, I'm never going to speak on something that I never lived or I've never been through. And when I saw the signs, it took me a while to remove myself from toxic people. It took me years, and I'm still trying to figure that out as well as I get older. Is this relationship meaningful? Is this relationship that I attach myself to, is it beneficial to me? So you want to be able to reevaluate your surroundings and what is being poured into you. I always say it's like a bank to a teller, or we go and we go to a transaction. So first is it's a deposit, right? So somebody is deposited into us. Then there's always a transaction between us and that person, and it's always a withdrawal. So we got to make sure who we allow deposit into us, who we allow interaction, which is transaction, and who we allow to withdraw from our lives. And I'm hitting on these points because of the simple fact that we want to do better. And I always say, let me get my own healing. And then when we are back in a good space, when all of this, toxic energy move, then we could be in relationship. I never, as I was gearing up for this topic for Friday, I was like, wow, I just want to be able to hit home with anybody that's on on this platform and anybody that watch me that, you know, even we can be toxic. And when we see these traits of negativity or woe is me attitude or the victim or bitterness rising up in us, I charge each and every one of us on today to check that. Because before a person becomes toxic, it would have to fester through the years. A toxic person is not going to just change overnight. It doesn't work like that. It has to grow, and somebody had to feed it and had to continue to grow and continue to grow. So it's like we as individuals don't have the right to change anybody. We don't. If they're causing you or they're disrupting your peace, or if they're, you know, just saying stuff, you know, that's just not feasible to your spirit, you have the option to remove yourself. You don't have the option and you don't have the willpower, the manpower to change the individual, but you have the right and the willpower to say, you know what? I see where this is going. I see you ain't gonna change. I see that every time we in relationship or link up or have conversation, it's always an issue. It's always this. It's always, you know, some type of drama. It's always some type of ill will. That's when you decide to remove yourself from that situation. And like I said, we as individuals, we owe it to ourselves to have peace. We owe it to ourselves to walk in peace and walk in love and walk in so many kindness. But what I do stand by, this is me personally, is that I don't care who you are. I don't. You could be my father, sister, cousin, mother, uncle, godfather, god sister. If your motives is not correct for my life, and if it's geared in the evil intent for my life, or if it's toxic, because when I think about toxicity and toxic individuals, they're like I said it this week. It's like a fire, and they spread. You know, when a fire catches on one house, it spreads to another house, another house, another house, and it takes so many firemen and firefighters to put down this big flame. And that's how toxic individuals are. They're like a volcano, yes. And I'm saying to say all of this. If you see these signs in people, and if you see it, you identify it. Sometimes it's going to take you years to identify, oh, damn, that person is toxic. Oh, I need to stay away from them. It doesn't make you right. It doesn't make you wrong for saying, I choose my peace instead of this relationship. And I'm going to say that again. I'm going to choose my peace and my happiness instead of this relationship. Because at the end of the day, when you lay down and that person just put all their junk into you and speaking in negative and moving in a negative way, you have to still have a life outside of that relationship. So just imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, right? Boom, check it. And that person is constantly negative, constantly trying to tear you down, constantly, what toxic people do? They do just a whole bunch. Trust me, I know. I've seen them. I've been in a relationship with them. They just do so much. But I have a clip that I'm going to start in a few minutes. So, narcissist, manipulative, they just do so freaking much. So just imagine you in a relationship with a person like that, right? They done deposit all this little negative seeds into your life, right? Throughout the day, throughout the year, throughout the month. What will you have for yourself? Because if somebody is constantly taking from you, sowing negative seeds, sowing this and sowing that, what are you going to have for yourself? What is going to be left for you to give? Because they done took everything from you. They done took everything from you. They done sucked everything from you. They done deposited all these nasty negative seeds. I call it nastiness. I call it toxic relations. I call it nice nasty. Oh, you nasty. Oh, okay, I see. It's like, so I want us to be able to identify when it arises in people and be like, you know what? I just gotta cut you off, baby. I have to. I mean, it's not. I always tell people, you are never wrong to say I'm cutting somebody. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. Doesn't mean that I don't care for you. Doesn't mean that I'm not gonna pray for you. Doesn't mean that I'm not gonna keep you in my thoughts, because I will. But I got to. I have to move forward and just move on and live in a manner of peace. Period. Pooh. Period. Like, we are not getting any younger. And I always say, where there is growth, there should be a change, like vice versa. And even in my own experience, I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Even on my own experience, I was dealing with a situation with an individual. And I'm like, wow, it's just talking to the individual, just not even talking verbally, but just seeing how the individual moves. I'm like, wow, baby, you are damaged. And hurt people try to hurt people. That's the cycle. That's their mindset. Like, oh, I was wrong when I was a child, or somebody did something to me, so it's a dog eat dog world. Like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. And I don't have to be. You need to clean that up. You know what I'm saying? We got, before we start trying to enter these relationships.
1, she's dismissive and disregarding of your feelings and needs. 2, she's emotionally unavailable. 3, she's emotionally blackmailing. 4, controlling. 5, critical. 6, comparing you to others. 7, disrespectful of your boundaries. 8, manipulative. 9, often playing the victim. 10, self-centered. 11, unapologetic. 12, blaming. 13, attacking. And 14, obsessed with putting on a good front.
20 minutes later.
I'm back. So I hope you guys looked at the clip that I just inserted. And like I said, and you guys saw what the lady just broke down, what is toxic and what is, she said a whole lot. I ain't got time to be she said a whole lot. But hope you guys get the logistics of what I'm trying to say today on Speak On It Friday. Like I said, it's always going to be me motivating you guys, because like I said, I've been there. I've been there with relationships where I just had to say no more. I had just like, so you know what? I'm going to put my hands up and I'm going to just step away. I'm going to take a time out, and I'm going to reevaluate me first, then reevaluate the situation. And then if there is no type of resolution, then I'm going to have to stay my way. You stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. If our lanes, tend to cross paths, cool. If not, cool. I'm okay. And I can sit in this right now. I'm okay at this moment right now of walking away from individuals, period. I'm just in the place of my life where I'm not allowing, if there is no boundaries, if there is boundaries being crossed and tangled and twined, I'm not allowing that anymore for me. So that's what I encourage everybody on today. If you have, or if you're in a relationship with somebody that's toxic, yes, toxic, and you know what toxic is something vile, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you, it just, the toxicity, oh my God, just to say it, it's like, ooh, just speaks so much value. I'm like, golly, yes. And people oftentimes believe, and they feel like that they can't be, and that this is a new word to them, and they scared. No, you are, baby. It's possible. It is possible. And are we open to the idea to say that it is possible for people to be toxic? Yes, it is. It is. We got to call a thing a thing. It is possible. Because we see it. We see it, whether it's in our families, whether we want to admit it or not. Trust me, it's in our families, it's in our marriages. Well, some marriages, because everything is toxic. But when you see it, 9 to 10 times, it's in places, in relationships that we have built over the years. So on Friday, it's a little gloomy outside. I'm in New York, whatever. I just hope you guys get where I'm coming from. I just hope that you guys receive it in a good, positive way. I'm not telling y'all to go out there and start cutting everybody off. That's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying, and I hope you guys get that You don't. You have options, period. That's what I'm saying. You have options. If you choose to stay in a toxic environment, situation, a thing, cool to you. That's going to be on you. But you do know that it's not going to work out for your benefit. It just won't. It just can't. It won't. It's impossible to work out for your benefit. We may tell ourselves in the back of our minds, well, no, if I just, I know because that's my, but I know because that's my, but I know I need to cut this, but because that's my, I don't care if that's your dog, baby. I don't. Cut him off. Period. Simple. I'm not saying it's this simple like that because it takes a while. Like I said, even for me, it took me a while to cut certain situations and cut certain people off of my life. And it wasn't an overnight thing. It was over time. And that's what I'm saying. It was an over time thing where, okay, you still doing this. You still saying that. You still have a, I gotta let you go. And you guys have options. And like I said, whether you choose to stay, cool. Whether you choose to go, that's even much better for you. So then maybe when you guys do decide to come back in relationship with one another, you guys will be good. You guys would have had time to heal. You guys would have had time to reevaluate what that relationship is and what it means. And I always say this, and I'm going to close out on this note for Friday. Do well and be well. Call a thing what it is. Stop trying to sweep things under the rug. And especially in our community, we as individuals, we don't talk about it. We want to, have everything under a rug swept. Okay, I did something to you, sweep it under the rug. I'm not going to say sorry, sweep it under the rug. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to stand in accountability, sweep it under the rug. I'm not going to walk in transparency, sweep it under the rug. Even I have did stuff, said stuff, not intentionally to be nasty. No, but I'm sure throughout the day, I may say something that may rub people off wrong, but doesn't mean that I'm trying to be nasty. Nah, like we're gonna offend people throughout the day, not on purpose. Sometimes maybe our highs is not nice, or maybe when we pick up the phone, we may sound a certain way. We gotta stop taking everything so personal. If you know the person is not in that manner, like you could decipher a toxic person. You could decipher somebody that definitely needs help or has a little tick. You can decipher, and it's just like, I need you to go back to the drawing board and get that, clean that up before you start trying to deposit whatever that is on me. Period. Said what I said. Speak on it. Motivational Fridays. Like I said, do better, be better, live better. Check your environment. Check your attitude and pray about it. Peace.